Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno, and today we have my buddy Dan G joining us again.
What's up, Pat?
How's it going, Dan?
It's doing well.
Yeah?
Doing well.
Glad to hear it, man.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. What's new with you?
So I brought a couple things today. One is for show, and one is for a plea for help. But the show one is pretty cool.
Sure.
You know, I'm not trying to incite, you know, any type of like hobby panic, and I'm not trying to fall into the fever of what's going on. But recently I made a trip to the card shop, and the local one, right? And I couldn't find anything that I wanted. Didn't really have anything that caught my eye, but I don't like leaving empty-handed. I like to support them. And so on the way out, I grabbed a couple loose packs of the Topps Heritage.
Yeah.
And got to the parking lot, and my son was excited and asked me to open them. So I went ahead and busted them in the parking lot and realized that in the 2 packs that I had purchased, I had gotten one of the Ohtani short print rookie cards out of my 2 packs.
Nice.
Right.
I think the insertion ratios on those cards were like per case.
I don't even know if they showed up one per case.
Okay.
I don't know for a fact. I do know that they are hobby exclusive, so you can't get them out of any of the retail products, which is kind of a shame because the retail was a lot of fun. But yeah, you know, I figured for the $10 that I spent, that was a pretty good deal.
So the per pack price is already $5.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's actually gone up since then because you know, I pulled that card, I want to say like maybe like a month ago, maybe a little bit sooner, right? And since his explosion of gameplay in the last few games, you know, the card has really picked up quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's almost doubled in price.
Yeah. That's a lot.
No,
I've seen them close for like $200.
Oh, they're well past that.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for this card?
Just for this card.
Unbelievable.
So the plan is to have it graded. You know, it's cool, and you know, I'm excited that I haven't had to buy an Ohtani, but you know, the price of these is so crazy that it's one of those things that, like, what do you do with it? I mean, he seems to just keep winning and keep hitting home runs and hitting in run like RBIs, and you know, so it's a tough decision, you know.
Well, I mean, I think something like this will always carry with it a degree of talking and conversation integrity, right. And so when that happens, no matter how valuable the card is, it's always a nice one to have.
Yeah.
You know, and so if he stays with it and continues to perform, obviously good things can happen with this card. And if he flops, and you know, this card's still an interesting piece to own because it's a talking.
Right. So for me, it's been a tough decision. You know, regardless, I'm going to get it graded.
Sure.
But you know, I'm a collector, so
right.
it's hard sometimes to part from things.
Well, who says you have to sell it?
Yeah, that's the point.
You know,
you know, I might just hold on to it.
Just hang on to it. Yeah, I mean, this is
it's
a great
story
card
for my son, and you know, it, like you said, if he does pan out, like if he's even half as good as Ichiro,
yeah.
You know, that's going to carry some weight.
Right.
So
it's a rookie year card because he's found in the 2017 Bowman Mega Boxes.
Right.
And that technically qualifies as his rookie card that's made here in the Western.
It was pack
area.
release.
Right. So I mean, he had other releases in Asia years back, but this being the first one of him showing up in, or the first year you can find products, or find cards in products featuring him in his Angels uniform. This is a significant time in the hobby.
Yeah. So interestingly, I have that card as well.
The Mega Box.
And I did purchase that card, but I purchased it the week that stuff launched because I wanted to put the set together.
Right.
So he was the key one, and I think I got a steal on that one.
Yeah, because you got it really early, and I think you told me, you were the one who informed me about this guy. And we were having dinner one night, and we were talking, and you were talking about him, and I had no idea, and you said you paid like $55 for that card. Now,
which was a lot.
Yeah. But now that card is, you know, $55 is you know, to many a bargain.
Right.
And so I'm waiting for the buzz to kind of settle a little bit before I invest. But I would like to pick up that card too. It would be nice to have maybe a parallel of any color.
Right.
but those parallels right now are so far out of reach. They're
super expensive.
You know, so really cool stuff, man. I'm glad you brought that by.
Sure.
And congratulations on pulling that card. It's a huge one.
Pull it down here. So the other one is this is out of this year's products as well, except this one's out of the Gypsy Queen. This is the Mike Trout, but it is the Bazooka back variation, and I really enjoy these cards. I really liked the front of the card. I mean, I think that the colors are really cool, but the Bazooka backs have really caught my eye. I like how the colors pop, and it's a really simple back, and it's just so uniquely different from some of the other parallels that are out there. I actually enjoy looking at the backs of them as much as I like looking at the fronts of them. So I think you and I had discussed this last time, maybe not on air, but definitely when we went out afterwards, and I played with the idea of putting the set together.
The Bazooka set.
Yeah, I think I've kind of come to the conclusion that I am. And so I was hoping you'd give me the opportunity to reach out to the Radicards community and say, hey, if anybody out there is moving some singles, you know, you can send them my way. Just notify Pat over here, and he will pass on the info.
So let me ask you this: if a viewer such as yourself is watching this and it says, I want to try to help Dan out with this set, what's the best way? What is the preferred method of contacting you? Twitter.
Twitter. My website. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Whatever works.
Okay, so I'll probably just source the traffic directly to you.
That would be fine if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so link below to somewhere to get in touch with him somehow. So just go into the description of this video, and there'll be a link to contact Dan should you feel the need to help him out with this here goal, which is a nice one,
So I'm not opposed to small deals or big deals.
Sure.
Just like you always say, don't rake me over the coals here. Right. I've seen like the singles sell on average between $1 and $1.50 depending on the player. Right. I'd like to do a bulk deal to get some of them out of the way. Obviously stars and semi-stars more, but lots would help.
What's their insertion ratio?
So I was reading it at one point and I knew it, but I have seen them come out of multiple blaster boxes of retail product. I've seen hobby boxes that don't have a single one in them.
Really?
I couldn't tell you. Like, I know that there's a listed ratio, but I don't think it's. I just doesn't make any sense to me based on what I've seen coming out of them. I have more of these, from what I've opened than I did any other variation.
Okay.
But I've talked to other collectors who have opened a significant amount and not seen many, so I don't know what it is.
And they're not serial numbered.
They're not serial numbered, and like I said, lots of 10 sell from between $12 and $20.
Okay. I mean, prices are probably going to be kind of all over the board, but they're not going to go past a certain.
The big
number.
ones are the Aaron Judge and the Ohtani, right? The others, like I think I saw a Hoskins, $30.
You're going to get the Ohtani though.
At some point. Kind of hoping.
Wait until there's like a bazillion Ohtani
out
items in the market, and people are distracted.
Everyone that has them on eBay right now wants like $300.
Wait, just wait.
But no one's buying them at that cost.
Right.
The auctions are going, for maybe $150, which is doable, but it's not ideal.
I would just wait.
Yeah.
So, with this product, I've seen the logo on the front of the card whited out on like a variation. I guess they did it for all the cards?
So they do it for all the cards, and from what I understand, you can get variations of variations. So, I mean, I'm not 100%, but I thought, like, if you could get, like, a Bazooka back with the whited out logo.
That happens?
I think so.
Or is it like the 89 Fleer Bill Ripken with the variations of the scribble? And that in itself is a variation.
I've seen people, like, advertising, like Bazooka back with the Gypsy Queen, variation.
Really?
They switch out the letters with the little lady's face.
That could get headache-ish.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Pretty quick, yeah. Well, and I had read somewhere or had heard somewhere that, like Aaron Judge has like 100 variations in the set.
Oh, come on.
And so, who knows? Who knows? But,
when does it end is the question.
Yeah.
Something else about these mega parallel modern sets. You know, the Mega Parallel thing really became popular in '98 with Topps Tech.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just got kind of worse as time went on. In
Right.
2004, there were like 100 different Diamond King variations for Thomas, most of which were 1-of-1. So it's like, hands up, I'm never going to be able to complete that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Moments and Milestones is the ultimate. Right?
Hands up.
Right.
I'm not going to complete
I'm not going to complete that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just let it go. Don Russ this year has gone berserk with variations.
Right.
I think they're over. I haven't even counted what's on, you know, the major price guide websites, but easily over 30 variations of one player, Thomas alone.
Wow.
That's like exhausting.
Yeah.
And then they're doing this like nickname variation, and every one of the variations for one is also found in the other, and so you have to get all the cards twice. So I'm like, you know, and they're doing it's multi-product release. It's not just Don Russ. It's like, you know, we're going to talk about Diamond Kings in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They did the nickname variation. They started doing this in 2017. I actually gave up halfway through the year collecting Don Russ. It was a tradition from 2014, 15, and 16. And 17 I did about halfway through, and then I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, no, it's just
okay.
Yeah, it's something that you know, Gypsy Queen, Topps is doing multi variations with like the combinations of the backs with like the whited out logo. I like the product.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gypsy Queen, the artwork is mind blowing. I've always liked it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Really like the cards just in and of themselves. It doesn't have to be a super crazy elusive parallel for me to appreciate the card and the set. So I think Topps has really done a great job with Gypsy Queen over the years. I remember when it came on the scene in 2011, and I was collecting the minis of Thomas, and there was like the Sepia, and then there was the SP photo variation, and all the different, you know, the different colored. It was really cool. I liked that set a lot, and it's just really progressed over the years. It's been fun to watch its maturity over the years, and I'm a big fan. I have never bought a pack, but I just like the cards.
So one of the cool things about the product this year is I don't think the focus is the autos. You know, obviously there's the big ones. You want the Ohtani or the.
He has an autographed card in the.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, but you know, most people are hunting down the variations, which I think is cool.
Well, that kind of takes you back to like the Topps heritage tradition, right? Is that the variations are a big piece of the desirability of the product. You know, whether it be like the color variations, which I think are cool. One year they did the gum stained backs with the different like birth dates and things like that. I really like that a lot. I prefer the stuff that's easily identifiable, like the color variations, the color swap.
Right.
I think those are interesting. You know, something that reminds me of something that Topps heritage, when they swap out like the birth date, it reminds me of the 59 Topps Warren Spawn, where they had the different birth dates for him. And I remember when I was really young getting a really hammered condition of the 59 Topps Spawn, one of the variations, and being really excited about it. Even I still have it. It's discolored and rounded corners, and it's just got a lot of character to it. But Topps heritage reminds me of a lot of those vintage 50s sets, you know, the green tints and whatever else. I think that's really cool stuff, man. I'm glad you brought those by. Thank you.
Sure.
So we're going to change it up. We're going to talk about 2018 Diamond Kings. Now, I as you know, I'm a Frank Thomas collector, and haven't been as excited about modern these last couple of years because of the amount of volume of stuff.
Right.
And a lot of stuff that is autographed, and I just don't buy a lot of modern autograph stuff of Thomas. It just has to be a really interesting card for me to want to pay the 40 or 50 bucks or whatever it is. So I just tend to keep my money and put it elsewhere. But that aside, I've always liked the Diamond King's arm, especially when it's run by Don Russ or Panini. 2018 Diamond Kings did the nicknames variation, so you have to do the parallels for both the Frank Thomas name and the Big Hurt name. And so I picked up the, and these are great looking cards, 2018 Diamond Kings. I picked up the Frank Thomas. Okay, this is, where do we start with this? Okay, because it's a lot to bite off and chew. Not only did Panini with Diamond Kings do the nicknames variation, but they have multiple different parallels of the artist proof. There's already blue, gold, red. Then they've got different color framed versions. And then what you see here is a masterpiece artist proof 1-of-1. Okay, cool stuff. But they didn't do anything to the card itself. It's just the same Diamond Kings card number 49, Frank Thomas. This is the nickname's variation, by the way. It says the big heart at the bottom. They didn't change the aesthetic appeal of the card itself. They just stamped it with the top right corner in black, of all colors, on already a slightly black-toned card.
Right.
And on the bottom, in the center, very small, it's spelled out in classic cursive, their classic cursive trademark 1 of 1 stamp. You know, I look at this and I think, couldn't Panini have done something a little bit more flared with the 1 of 1? Change the appearance of the card in some way, maybe put like a hollow foil overlay, or even put a hollow foil overlay over the black stamp on the top right corner. It says Masterpiece. I just feel like, of all the things they could have done, I feel like they missed the mark on the 1 of 1s this year, because they made these 1 of 1s, they're a bit lackadaisical.
Yeah. Well, I think we were discussing earlier that it's so plain.
Yeah.
That you might miss it.
Yes.
If you're going through your cards.
It's very these things blend in. The silver cursive 1 of 1, the black stamp in the top right corner. It blends real well into the card. When I saw the auction, I saw 1 of 1 listed in the title, but then I had to go back and like compare it with the regular base card, which I have. And outside of those two things, the cards are identical. Now, you can argue that this was popular in 93, 94 when Stadium Club did it with its first day production sets, parallel sets, but they at least Topps at least put a hollow foil finish on those stamps, so they were immediately identifiable. That popped out of the card. This, as you pointed out, Dan, that it might be difficult to see it right out of the gate, and you might miss it.
They could sit in the stack of cards, possibly given away, thrown away, and
nobody would know.
No one would know.
And so, until somebody finds it, be like, oh my gosh, you got the 1 of 1.
Yeah.
But I feel like, with the 1 of 1, it would be almost like a social responsibility to make it at least somewhat distinguishable, like really quickly too, and make it interesting really quickly. See, if that logo in the top right corner was actually done in a hollow foil instead of just a black, or even like a different color, like a green, anything else, I think it would have been a much more attractive card.
Right.
And I don't think I would be just slinging some beef about it right now. I think I'd be like probably talking about it in a different light, a different tone. Now, I'm not saying Panini is like all over the board with their releases, and I know it's a lot to manage, and they produce a lot of releases, and so like this is minutia to them. But to me, as a collector, player collector, where I'm not paying attention to anything else but the Frank Thomas stuff, this is important to me. So, as a loyal customer, a loyal consumer, it would make sense to pay close attention to player collectors in this capacity. I like these cards, though. I think the artwork is very, very nice. It's very much akin to the Gypsy Queen stuff with that really nice, very artistic appeal to these cards. Really nice stuff. Panini is known for reusing images. This image has already been used. It was used in 2016 Donruss Masters of the Game insert set and the paralleled optic version, which is the chrome thing that they did, and starting in 2016. I like this product, even though the image is recycled. I'm not, in the market to be buying Diamond Kings packs, because I just would rather cherry pick the individual cards. But I think it's a great product. It's a nice one,
I haven't even seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, I mean, I've followed some cards online, but I haven't seen it in the card shop.
It's my understanding it's even more expensive than Topps Heritage.
Really?
Don't know how far into this product I'll go with Frank Thomas. I haven't really decided. I like the cards. I think they'd be fun to chase. And there don't appear to be too many of them. It's not like Donruss. So I haven't really decided as to whether or not I'm going to pursue a run for Thomas for this year. I do like the cards, though. I think they're great, and I'm glad I was able to get a 1 of 1 from 2018. This being my first Thomas 1 of 1 of 2018. My 2018 portfolio is actually, it's very modest. I have a very small number of cards this year in 2018, and a lot of them were already given to me, so they're base cards, but that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Base is fun. I enjoy base.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that stuff. It's obviously that 1 of 1s and parallels are a little bit more interesting, but it's a Thomas card, if I don't have it and it's in good condition, I'm thankful to have it in my collection. So it's a really good piece. Dan, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think we've said it all.
Yeah. This is a fun one. I'm glad I was able to get this. So cool stuff, man. Thanks for sharing.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. And again, thank you, Dan, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
The link to reach Dan is below. So if you have his, if you have any 2018 Gypsy Queen Bazooka backs you want to pass on to Dan, certainly reach out to him. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. And until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.